Introduction: Weapons of Influence. Cialdini introduces the concept of weapons of influence, explaining how certain psychological principles trigger automatic responses in human behavior. These triggers are rooted in mental shortcuts that allow us to make decisions efficiently, but can also leave us vulnerable to manipulation. The introduction lays the foundation for the book, emphasizing the importance of understanding these principles to recognize when they are being used ethically or exploitatively. By mastering these tools, individuals can protect themselves from undue influence and use them constructively in their personal and professional lives. Chapter 1: Reciprocation, the Old Give and Take. The principle of reciprocity is rooted in a universal cultural norm. When someone does something for us, we feel obligated to return the favor. This sense of obligation is so strong that it often leads people to repay even unsolicited acts of kindness. Cialdini provides examples, such as how charities send small gifts like address labels to encourage donations, knowing that recipients will feel compelled to give back. The power of reciprocity can also be seen in negotiations. For instance, if one party makes a concession, the other party often feels obligated to reciprocate. This dynamic is effective in sales, diplomacy, and conflict resolution. While this principle fosters cooperation and goodwill, Cialdini warns against those who exploit it by offering insincere favors to manipulate others into compliance. Commitment and consistency, hobgoblins of the mind. This chapter explores how people strive to appear consistent with their past commitments and actions. Once individuals make a decision or take a stance, they are likely to justify and reinforce it, even if it no longer serves their best interests. This tendency is amplified when the commitment is made publicly or in writing, as it increases accountability. Cialdini uses examples from sales techniques such as the foot in the door strategy, where customers agree to a small request first, making them more likely to agree to a larger request later. He also discusses how commitment is used in self-improvement programs, where setting clear goals and taking small initial steps can lead to lasting behavioral change. The chapter encourages ethical use of this principle, such as fostering genuine buy-in and alignment rather than manipulation. Chapter 3: Social Proof. Truths are us. Social proof describes how people look to others for cues about how to behave, particularly in uncertain or ambiguous situations. This principle is based on the idea that the actions and opinions of others often signal what is correct or desirable. Cialdini provides examples such as canned laughter in TV shows, which makes audiences more likely to find the content funny, or online reviews, where high ratings and positive testimonials influence purchasing decisions. He also highlights the bystander effect, where individuals are less likely to act in emergencies when others do nothing, assuming that the group's inaction means help isn't needed. The principle of social proof is especially powerful when the people being observed are similar to the observer. For instance, testimonials from peers in the same demographic are more persuasive than those from unrelated groups. The lesson is to use genuine social proof to influence others positively while remaining cautious about blindly following the crowd. Chapter 4: Liking, the Friendly Thief. People are more likely to be influenced by those they like, and this chapter explores the factors that enhance likability. These include physical attractiveness, shared interests, frequent interaction, and receiving compliments. Cialdini discusses how salespeople, politicians, and even scam artists use these factors to gain trust and influence decisions. For example, a salesperson might build rapport by finding common ground or offering genuine praise. Similarly, brands use likable spokespersons or relatable stories to connect with their audience. However, the principle of liking can also be used manipulatively, such as when flattery is insincere or when superficial similarities are exaggerated. Cialdini emphasizes the importance of building authentic relationships. When trust and rapport are genuine, influence becomes a tool for collaboration rather than coercion. Chapter 5: Authority, Directed Deference. Humans are conditioned to respect and obey authority figures, a principle deeply ingrained in social and organizational structures. Cialdini discusses experiments like Stanley Milgram's famous obedience study, where participants administered what they believed were painful shocks to others under the direction of an authority figure. This chapter explores how symbols of authority, such as uniforms, titles, or credentials, can enhance influence even when the authority is superficial. For example, a doctor's endorsement of a product increases its credibility, even if the doctor has no expertise in that specific area. While authority can be a powerful force for good, encouraging trust and guiding behavior, it can also be exploited. Cialdini advises readers to evaluate the legitimacy of authority figures and avoid blind obedience, ensuring decisions are informed and rational. Chapter 6: Scarcity, the Rule of the Few. Scarcity leverages the fear of missing out, FOMO, by making resources or opportunities appear limited. This principle is effective because people tend to place higher value on things that are rare or hard to obtain. Phrases like limited time only or only a few left in stock create urgency, prompting quicker decisions. Cialdini explains how scarcity plays on the psychology of loss aversion. The fear of losing something often outweighs the desire to gain something of equal value. This is why tactics like exclusive memberships, countdown timers, or limited edition products work so well in marketing. The lesson is to use scarcity authentically, emphasizing real limitations or exclusivity rather than creating artificial pressure. Ethical use of this principle builds trust and enhances the perceived value of a product or service. Chapter 7: Epilogue: Instant Influence. In the final chapter, Cialdini revisits the 6 principles of influence and reflects on their ethical application. He emphasizes that these principles are not inherently good or bad. Their impact depends on how they are used. Cialdini encourages readers to become more aware of these tactics in their daily lives, enabling them to resist manipulation and make informed decisions. The epilogue serves as a call to action, urging readers to use the principles of influence to foster positive change, build trust, and inspire cooperation. By mastering these tools, individuals can navigate social interactions more effectively, protect themselves from unethical persuasion, and create mutually beneficial relationships.